Key levels to watch as Bitcoin and ETH rise ahead of the monthly close. Hey guys, Keith Allen here. Hope you had a great weekend. We got lots to talk about today. Monthly close sneaking up on us tomorrow, right? So let's try and figure out if this is going to turn into like the next big thing. Are we looking at the development of the next leg up, or is this going to be another fake out? Inquiring minds want to know. Every trader wants to know anyways, and we are going to climb into the charts here today and see if we can figure that out. Hope you had a good weekend, and hope you are navigating this volatility well. Some interesting developments in the chart, some things I like that I see, some things that I don't love that I see, and we're going to look at all of them, see how they might come into play here over the next couple of days as we're eyeing up a monthly close, looking for new signals. And really wondering if the dip we got, the correction, the dip, whatever you want, the pullback, whatever you want to call it, did it really go as deep as it needed to go? Did we find support, or is this going to develop into a fake out? So with by looking at across a couple of different time frames, I think we can gain some valuable insights here. Before we do, though, as per usual, want to just ask you to do me that favor of smashing those buttons. Help me grow this channel. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future streams. And another reminder, live chat is open. Man, we had such a good, I don't remember if it was Thursday or Friday, but I think it was Friday. We had a great live stream, lots of participation from you guys. I looked up a bunch of charts for you guys. So, I'm always keen to do that, time permitting. So if you've got questions, I'll do my best to answer them. If you've got insights, please share them. And we will, of course, if we have time, we'll maybe even look up a couple of additional charts for you guys at your request. Looks like Ralph is already here, and he's got questions. Will we revisit the 108K range? Good question, Ralph. Real good question. I thought we might go there heading into the weekend. It looked like we might go there. And I actually had some bids down in the 107 range, and I adjusted. When did I adjust? I think it was Saturday night. I adjusted. I saw some liquidity coming in. I'll show you what I saw, why I made that adjustment, and fortunately, I got filled there. So, let's just start looking at charts, I guess, and we'll go from there, Ralph. And again, man, I appreciate you being with me. So let's go ahead and share the screen. We'll start here on the candle chart because that's what I have open, and we can just look at some basic technicals here right now. As you can see, Bitcoin is literally, as we speak, fighting for the 21-day moving average. That's the green line here. And the fact that we have the 21, the red 50, and the blue 100 all very, very closely correlated here. Let's see what they, and by the way, I'm using simple moving averages. I see a lot of times I mention moving averages, and I would like you guys to be monitoring this stuff on your own. So I don't always give the precise dollar value of those levels. And then I see on X people asking Grok for what the levels are, what the prices are at those levels. And a lot of times it's not accurate. So looking at my chart, you can see up here on the left-hand side where we sit. And that's basically saying that the 21 is just shy of 14K at 113,989 right now. The 50 is at 113,735, and the 100 is at 113,746. They're all really, really closely wound right now. So we do have a bit of a death cross between the red that has crossed below the 21 and this was actually a golden cross of the 21 climbing back above the red 50, but the red 50 climbing below the blue 100 as we speak. So this is happening right now. Maybe it'll be a shallow cross, and we'll pull out of this. So as I was preparing the live stream, price had fallen back below this 21-day moving average, but it's climbed back up. And it's worth noting here, right? So you don't get trigger happy and you don't push buttons too fast. It's not how you start the day. It's not even what's happening in the middle of the day. It's how you finish. Will the day close above that level? Um, okay. I'm just seeing a note from Ralph said he couldn't see the screen, but now he can. Okay. So this is a key thing to watch here, right? Does price stay above these levels? And if it doesn't, I would say, Ralph, that certainly increases the possibility and increases the probability of revisiting support. Now, what support level will it revisit? And as you can see here, we're on the daily time frame right now. We have these timescape levels, and these timescape levels happen at quarterly opens and at the first Monday of the new quarter. So we retested support. Here's the quarterly open for Q3, July 1st, 2025. And here's that first Monday. The first weekly open of Q3 was July 7th, 2025. And you can see that level has been tested several times. Both of these levels were tested. And the fact that we had a test off of this was the quarterly open down here, right? And so we saw this get retested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times before moving up. And then we saw these get tested again back at the end of August. And now this latest retest did not go quite that low. So this was, as I mentioned, I had an order down here at 107-ish, thinking I might get filled there, thinking that price might break through based on last week's FUD and the sell-off that was happening. But price held here, and it held, perfectly here yesterday on a support test down to 109,239, and that is exactly the level I got filled yesterday. So I'm happy about that at the moment, and I want to see price obviously stay above this. Otherwise, there's a good chance it goes down, and if it does, it could break down. So I will be looking for new signals here as well between the trend precognition algos. We're not going to see a new long signal from the A1 down here because we're already above this center line, but we will be able to tell if the momentum shifts, right? Does momentum, so this orange A1 slope line is really your real-time momentum indicator out of this algo. So is it going to stay in this trajectory? Is it going to tick up even more vertically? Will it tick down and level out, or will it tick all the way down and show that, we're really losing some strength here? So those are things to watch. Additionally, we'll watch to see if we get a new signal here on the monthly. So let me zoom out timeframes a little bit and show you what looks good. So at the moment, as you can see, we're fighting for this 21-day moving average. On the weekly time frame, we've tested the 21-week moving average in the past 24 hours, right? Since last night's open. So if this holds, that would be obviously a sign of strength. If it doesn't, if we lose this, then obviously that opens the door for a retest back down here at 109. And if that doesn't hold, we get that retest down to down to that 107 level that I showed you here on the daily time frame. And here it is down here. And if that doesn't hold, then things get really exciting and we move into the first of the year, the yearly opens, right? So strong that we're seeing support at the 21 and support at this quarterly timescape level. If we look at it on the monthly, this also looks pretty good to me. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 months of testing support, consolidation at this level. And historically, consolidations, I'm going to turn off timescale. Well, actually, I don't want to turn off timescapes. But historically, those consolidation levels are good to see. It's hard to see them so much on the monthly time frame, but look at this, right? Here's a long consolidation for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months of consolidation before that breakout to the next leg. 1, 2, third month out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It can happen for months and months and months. And what happens afterwards? You get those longer rallies. So hopefully that's what we're setting up for now. Look, 1, 2, 3, and boom. So this is setting up for that. It's setting up beautifully for that. And so again, we need to on the lower time frame, we need to maintain our levels above these key moving averages. That's number one. And then obviously we need to climb our way back into this to this trend line. So those are the things that I'm watching. Ralph asking about Bitcoin dominance. Good question, Ralph. You know, it wasn't too long ago the whole world is screaming alt season, alt season, alt season. And where's alt season? Well, Friday's live stream was about that very thing. And if you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to either scroll down in my X channels or the Material Indicators X channel, or just head over to YouTube and you can see last week's stream about alt season. But let's see what that chart looks like right now. This is Bitcoin dominance on the rise. So here's what I really like about this. So one of the things we talked about on Friday was that I didn't feel like Bitcoin dominance was likely to fall below the levels that we had seen in prior alt seasons, right? And back in 2017, 2021, we were seeing Bitcoin dominance drop way down into like sub 40% levels. And I just don't think that that's going to happen now that we have all of this institutional adoption, at least not unless another coin can literally flip ETH. I mean, flip Bitcoin. And ETH could potentially do that. It's a long way from doing so. I mean, ETH dominance is here at a almost laughable 13%, while Bitcoin dominance is almost at 59% right now. So you can see Bitcoin dominance going up. You can see total 3 ES, which is another one of those metrics that we watch to give us some insight on a potential alt season. And it also has pulled back from its local high. And despite a bit of a bump up over the past couple of days, it's starting to roll downwards. Same with ETH, right? ETH got a little bit of a recovery and now rolling downwards. But this is what's really interesting to me. This is showing us that stablecoin dominance is dropping, right? So typically when stablecoin dominance is dropping, you look to see where it gets distributed. Where's that money going? Is it going into Bitcoin? Is it going into ETH? Is it going into alts? Is it going into some combination of all the above? And right now you can see it is all going into Bitcoin. This is doesn't mean it's forever. This is what's happening in the moment. So in terms of an alt season, not today, Tommy. Doesn't mean never. And again, I don't think we're going to see alt season like we've seen it in the past, but whatever we define these rallies as now, you're going to see some more alt rallies, but they're going to be, how should I say, more selective and a bit more muted than they had been perhaps in years past. That doesn't mean that there won't ever be another alt that does triple digits in a week or a month or 2 months or whatever. But those are going to be rare. It's certainly not going to be the norm. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin dominance at the moment. And I certainly could see this. I mean, we're almost back to 60%. I could certainly see it moving back up here. Will before we know anything decisive, really we have to have this monthly close, and so we will likely get some tips and some more insight after we see the monthly close to see what the charts look like at that point and see if we have any new signals. So keep that in mind. Let's take a peek real quickly at ETH. And gosh, I wish I was as well versed in ETH as I am in Bitcoin, because I missed an opportunity here. I had been accumulating ETH here for a few months, and I've got a decent entry, but I dollar cost average my way into everything, and at the moment, some of those entries are not great, right? They're not in the green, so to speak. And I saw this opportunity here, and we had a really nice support test down to a prior timescape level. This goes all the way back to 2022. And to be clear, the dates don't really matter with the exception of a few, right? I personally, and this is a new indicator, right? We've only been working with this for probably about 6 months. something like that, maybe a little less. But it's proven to be invaluable so far because it just does a great job of pinpointing historical resistance and support levels that you may not have otherwise noticed on your chart. I mean, even if I was zoomed out, I probably would not be looking all the way back to 2022 to see if there was any confluence back there. And so this identifies that for us at a glance, very easy to see. And so I wish I had taken a position here. I actually thought that we were going to go back down towards the yearly open. And so the ones that I put the most weight on in terms of how important they are. And again, they're all relevant at any moment in time. They're all relevant. But I look at the current year as important. I look at the current yearly open as critically important. And I look at areas where there are concentrations, clusters, if you will, of different timescape levels like we see here. And I don't know what they all are. I have to zoom out. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. But it doesn't matter what the timing is. But you can see we have 1, 2 clustered very, very close together, and the third one not too far away. So I was actually thinking that we might even get a support test down to this level. That's where my bids were, and I didn't get filled. So, but that doesn't mean I might not get another opportunity. We're kind of in a no man's land right here, trying to get above these moving averages, similarly to what we saw on the Bitcoin chart. Let's look at the weekly time frame, see if we get any more insight here. Look at this, just a picture perfect support test to the January 3rd, 2022 timescape level. So support looking good right there at the moment. And on the monthly, anything else standing out? No, nothing glaringly obvious here at this point. So what's this level right here? So if all hell were to break loose and the bottom dropped out, and that's a hypothetical, obviously strong support here where we have a concentration of timescape historical support levels. So that's around the 3650 range, 3670 actually. But if things really got dicey, I like where we have confluence between the 21-month moving average and this October 2021 timescape level. That'd be at 3,000, and that would be just tremendous to me. And of course, each moving average is another key level, and where you see confluence between those moving averages and the timescape levels, you have additional strength. Not a surprise here that we see this happen around the 2,500 range. This is actually 2,558, which would be just a tremendous entry, in my opinion, at this stage. And a lot of people will say it can't happen anymore. Anything can happen in this game. Do not rule anything out. Okay, I think it's less likely that we go down this low, but I don't rule out anything. And let's take a peek at fire charts now and see if we can, let me just refresh this bad boy, see if we can gain any insight as to what's happening. The psychological resistance is at 115, by the way. I don't see that as a technical target. There is roughly 14.2 million stacked there. I think this is thinned out a little bit, actually, because earlier it was like over 16 million, I thought. And so you can see it's not a lot of liquidity holding things down. This is less than $10 million holding things in place, but price just not making its way up there. And whales, purple whales in particular, had started to sell from these levels and are dollar cost averaging their way out of what they bought down here. So that tells me that at the moment, and yes, brown mega whales have bought, but they bought and they sold, and then they bought a little more, and then they bought a little more. We'll see. Brown could be buying large and then selling small. Keep that in mind. So, and until I see purple back on the green button and headed back upward, I'm not convinced that this is going to develop into what bulls want to see. And I would tell you that if it was an asset other than one that I plan to hold, right? If this was an altcoin that I was scalping, I would be taking profit here. But I'm accumulating this for a longer term position. I actually sold. I round tripped the range. Essentially, I had bought 109 a few weeks ago. I sold around 115, and this is just a small portion of my position, by the way. Not doing this with the majority of my position is not being touched. But I'm playing with those higher entries, hoping to improve on them. So depending on how things develop here, I may or may not keep this portion open. And again, it's just a very small. It's essentially the tip of the pyramid of my dollar cost averaging. This is my highest entry here at 109. So we'll see. We'll see. Now let's look at, actually, let's zoom out a bit here on fire charts and see if there's anything else noteworthy here. So we have a ladder of asks all the way up to this 120 range. You can see it's heavily concentrated right here in this 114.5 range. And a bit of a bid ladder, not a massive one, but a bid ladder down in the 108 down to the 105 range. Let's look at ETH real quick and see if we can gain any insight on that guy. ETH looks like it does. It's sandwiched between bids and asks at the moment, but we're seeing more buy volume on ETH right now. Despite what has happened, like there's been major sell-off on ETFs here through the past week. And so let's see what, we're not going to see what happens today until tonight, after tonight's close. But there's been several days of selling on the Bitcoin ETF past Thursday and Friday, as well as what was this, Monday and Tuesday. We saw a bit of selling on the Bitcoin ETFs, although only on the last day, only on Friday did BlackRock clients do any selling. And then on ETH, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ETH sold every day, essentially, which is surprising at this stage, to be honest with you. And just for shits and giggles, let's see what Solana's doing. So this is what blows my mind. Okay, so those people took money out of Bitcoin and out of ETH, and a few bought some of the Solana ETF. Interesting. Solana had a nice pullback, so that was a decent opportunity, I guess. But interesting that there's not been any outflow here on this ETH side. I wonder if they're even allowed to sell yet, if any of those are locked. I'm not really familiar with the Solana ETF. If anybody is, by all means, please chime in. So with that in mind, why don't we take a look at that SOL chart? This is the Bitcoin MTF signals. We got a signal down in that 109 to 108.7 range here on Thursday. It's the last signal at that level. And obviously that's in profit now, nicely. What did I say we were going to look at? Solana. Where's that chart I'm looking for? Let's go to SOL, USDT. Look at this one real quick. Solana testing support at the 0.5 fib. That's interesting. Also looks like that's also the 10-week moving average support, but wedged between timescape levels, right? Wedged between the yearly open, first week of the year. Let's go to the daily and see when the first actual day of the year open was. So we did have a support test back on Thursday down at the yearly open. This was very, very strong. And this is why we saw that buying on that Solana ETF, in my opinion. So now we have, after a wick through the 50-day moving average, We've reclaimed that, but kind of pinned between the 50-day and the 10-day right now. I don't typically trade the 10-day. I put it on my chart just because I was interested to see what's happening. But this is where it really matters, in my opinion, getting back above this 21-day moving average, which would be a flip of the 0.618 fib. That's the top of the golden fib. And doing that would send Solana back on its trajectory to move towards all-time highs. Hope that gives you some insight on a Monday afternoon. Tomorrow should be an interesting day. I mean, the order book is primed for volatility, especially on that Bitcoin chart, because we've got some thin liquidity to the downside. So it's going to be interesting to see if some guardrails come up and change that trajectory. Right now, there's not much holding things up to 108. So that could come into play, Ralph. Susie Q. Let's see. Can I look at Link? For you, yes, I can. I still happen to have it on my chart. Link. Let's go to the daily first. Link on the daily. Support test off the 0.5 fib. That's good, right? Confluence between the 21-day moving average and the 21-day moving average and this 0.618 fib. Strong resistance right here. And then, of course, the 50-day moving average right above it with a timescape level around the yearly open. So here's the actual yearly open right here. We had a nice support test last week. I think we talked about this on Friday. So Thursday and Friday were good. And price did indeed move up from there. We got that test on the 0.5 fib, and now a bit of a no man's land, waiting to see whether price is. This doji candle shows indecisiveness, right? Is price going to push up, or is price going to fade back? So, in my opinion, where we sit right now is no man's land. That's a don't push any buttons zone, in my opinion, and look for something more decisive in either a breakdown towards the 100-day moving average or a breakout past the 50-day moving average. Let's look at it on the weekly. Nothing really different there on the weekly or the monthly. Let's look at fire charts real quick and see if we can get any insight on Link liquidity, Link, and order flow. More importantly, right? Who's buying it? Who's selling it? So this is interesting. Retail running for the doors, running for the exits, and Purple Whale saying, thank you. We'll take it. We'll take your liquidity. So at the moment, and again, this is a low liquidity coin. You have to be careful with low liquidity coins with your position sizing, right? You don't want to make a massive order, certainly not a massive market order that could slip in the thin order books. So, but it does look like the other order classes are starting to buy. Not likely that we're going to see brown mega whales come into the fold here, just because there's not enough liquidity for them to be trading in this order book. But it's going to take a few minutes for this to refresh. But I can tell you, this is encouraging to see for Link. Hey, Ralph, thanks for the kind words, and I appreciate you following. Please do me a favor and share this thing with some of your friends and trading communities and see if we can grow this channel. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Searching for an entry now. Searching for a Bitcoin entry, Ralph? And so, Susie, I hope that answers your question. Let's zoom out and see if there's anything else interesting here. Obviously, strong resistance up here around 2275, 2279 for Link. And that's one I want to see recover too, Susie. I'm currently underwater in Link, so I want to see that one step up. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it here. I got a busy afternoon. I'm trying to jam as many things in today as I possibly can. And hopefully we get some positive signs and we get maybe some new signals tomorrow on trend precognition that gives us some clarity. At the moment, Bitcoin holding above the 21-day moving average, as well as the 50 and the 100. This looks good. Keyword looks right now, looks good, but you just have to be mindful. We've had so many fake outs. You got to be mindful of that happening. And so look at, I would say, if we lose the blue 100-day moving average, you're probably safe to expect a pullback at least towards this 109 level at the very least. And maybe we get some new signals tomorrow. Looking at the ETH chart again, looking for a monthly signal. What's going to happen here? I'll be watching the A1 slope line to see if it ticks up, stays on this trajectory, or ticks downward even more, to give us some more insight as to what's happening there. At the moment, it's a indecisive doji candle for ETH on the monthly time frame. Was Bitcoin Doge too? Let's see. No, Bitcoin's got a healthier candle here, and you see it trying to squeak above the trend line here on the monthly time frame. So those are all things to watch. Price again falling below that 114K level. I mean, so it's struggling right now to hold this level. So I will be watching to see if more bid liquidity comes in for Bitcoin and can potentially hold these things up. A lot of times we'll see some guardrails come into play moving into these monthly opens and closes. So we'll see. Ralph says short on BTC from 113.6. Don't know if I should close it. Well, that's a good question. You have my experience is once you close it is when it starts to do exactly what you wanted it to do, right? Don't you hate when that happens? I would say this. Be very mindful of what's happening here, and by the daily close, maybe you get some more insight as to how things are looking, and whether or not we get some more liquidity in the order book between now and tomorrow to hold price up. At the moment, there's not a lot. There's very little down here, right? As you can see, less than $1 million at each of these levels, most of them anyways, until at least 112. But I also would not be super greedy on that trade. Okay. So I don't know when you shorted. If you shorted it over the weekend or before the weekend, and didn't take any profits when we dipped down to 109, I would not be greedy looking for 108 or 107. And what I saw yesterday, which is what made me buy, was I saw this stair stepping up. I saw consolidation. I saw bid liquidity moving into this level down here. And so when I saw this consolidation and I saw this bid liquidity moving in here, I decided to adjust my position, adjust my order up to 109, and I got filled yesterday with that. So do not try to take it to the bone. Do not try to optimize your timing and get the absolute top and absolute bottom, because you're going to miss more often than you're going to hit it. And I speak from experience when I tell you that. Ralph is talking QNT. Let's see. QNT has a little buy volume on the order flow. So that's interesting to see. Let's go to the daily. But about to run into major resistance here at that 102 level. Let's see what that looks like on a candle chart. QNT, USDT. So support testing with a doji hammer here and a wick all the way down through the 21 month and the a 2023 timescape level. Let's see what the weekly looks like. All right, weekly is pinned between the key moving averages. Look at this, the 200 and the 20. So let me show you what's positive on this chart. What's positive is a golden cross between the green 21 week and the purple 200 week moving average. That is absolutely critical. And at relatively the same time, we have a golden cross between the 50 and the 100 week moving averages. So this is telling you that things are trending upwards on the weekly time frame. On the daily, we're about to run into resistance. Well, we have run into resistance here at some of these timescape levels, and we have stronger resistance up here at this Q3 timescape level where there's confluence with the 100-day moving average. So again, this is kind of a no man's land, a no trade zone for me. I would be waiting either for a pullback to support or a break above that 100-day moving average to have confidence that things aren't going to retrace on me. Hope that gives you guys some insight. I really appreciate the follows and the engagement. And as always, this is for you. So if you have ideas or topics you want me to cover, drop me a comment and I will do my best to take care of those. All right. If you have not done so yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future streams. I am doing my best to drop the alpha on you guys each and every time I come in here and do one of these. So by all means, help me grow this channel by hitting that subscribe button and sharing it with any of your friends or fellow community members. And if you want to engage with me more, join our Telegram community. Link to it is in the description of the video. It's also at the top of the Material Indicators X page and at the top of our website at materialindicators.com. You can also get links to all the info on all the tools in there as well. Thanks again for the follow. Hope this helps you all trade smarter.